Hello, children. I'm again back, Mrs. Mriga Chibber, in the channel Awesome Learning with the next topic of body fluids and circulation. In the previous two videos, I had discussed about the introduction and the plasma, which is the liquid part of the blood. Now, today in this video, I'm going to talk about the formed elements. Formed elements means the solid part of the blood. It contains three types of cells: the RBCs, the WBCs, and the platelets. So, one by one, we will be discussing them. As you see in front of you, I have opened your NCERT plus the PPT here. So, let's start. Formed elements. Children, erythrocytes. Now, please mind that you have to write the spellings very correctly. Okay, erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets. Now, let me tell you that the other name of platelets is thrombocytes. So, again, I'm going to say erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets are collectively, all three of them together, are known as formed elements, and they constitute 45% of the blood. Just remember, in the previous video I told you that plasma contains, let me also show you, we have done this, that plasma constitutes 55% of blood, and hence how much is left out of 100? If 55% is plasma, then 45% is formed elements, right? So total 100%. Okay, now we will start with the erythrocytes, or the RBCs, or the red blood cells. They are most abundant. Now children, let me tell you one thing. Our blood is red in color. Do you know why is it red in color? Now let me tell you one more thing. If our blood contains straw colored plasma, colorless WBCs, and platelets, they are also colorless. So still the color of blood is red. Why? So the answer is because RBCs are in large amount. Because RBCs are in large amount or most abundant, that is why they give the red color to the blood. Other parts of the blood are not in that quantity as that of RBCs. Hence, the color of the blood is red. Okay, so a healthy adult man has an average how much? 5 millions to 5.5 millions of RBCs per millimeter cube, okay, of blood. So per millimeter cube of blood will contain how many RBCs? 5 or 5.5 millions. Just imagine the quantity of RBCs. Children, RBCs are formed in red bone marrow in the adults. Okay. Now you know we have a bone, we have a vertebral column, okay, and inside that spinal cord, or you also call it as spinal cord, and there is a vertebral column. So there are bone marrow present there. So RBCs are formed in the bone marrow. RBC is one another point. Now you should divide these paragraph into points. So see, RBCs are devoid of nucleus. That means RBCs are the cells in our body which do not have nucleus. Okay, and they are biconcave in shape. What do you mean by biconcave? That both the sides are concave. They are concave from both the sides. Okay, they have a red colored iron pigment containing complex protein called hemoglobin. So iron containing pigment, that is the word heme. The word heme here means iron. So it's an iron containing pigment which is called hemoglobin, and hence that is why the color of the blood is red. Now, a healthy individual has 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin in every 100 ml of blood. 100 ml of blood is taken from a person. How much hemoglobin? Because hemoglobin is what? It is the protein, it is the pigment. So how much pigment will be taken out from that 100 ml? 12 to 16 grams. These molecules play a significant role. Now, RBC play a very significant role in the transportation of respiratory gases. I need not explain this because we have already done this in the previous chapter, breathing and exchange of gases. So now you know very clearly how RBC, or what is the role of hemoglobin in the transportation of respiratory gases. This has been discussed in the previous videos we have done. So RBC have an average lifespan. Now children, RBCs, these cells have a particular lifespan of 120 days, after which they die. And when they die, they are destroyed in spleen, which is also known as the graveyard of RBCs. So let me show you the actual picture of RBCs. See, they are biconcave. Biconcave means concave from this also side and concave or from the other side. So both the sides are concave. So this is the shape of the red blood cells or the RBCs. So this is how red blood cells look. And do you know this shape of red blood cells is of great advantage? This question generally comes, that what advantage do RBCs get because of its shape? So you know it's a spherical shape, and we know the surface area of a sphere is the largest. So more the surface area, larger will be the amount of oxygen that will be taken up by the RBCs, or the binding of oxygen will be more because the surface area is more. Why is the surface area more? Because of the shape of the RBCs, the shape given to the RBCs. That is why they have large surface area, so more binding of oxygen will take place. And children, one more thing I wanted to show you, what is spleen, because generally children ask when I teach them that RBCs are formed in the bone marrow, but they are destroyed in the spleen. So children, you see this is the part spleen just near the stomach. Okay, this is the part called spleen. It is also known as the graveyard of RBC. So I just wanted to show you spleen, and also a little bit information about spleen, that it is a part of our lymphatic system. We will be doing this lymphatic system further in this lesson. So it is a part of our lymphatic system because it produces lymphocytes. And children, these we will be studying these lymphocytes in class 12. There are two types of lymphocytes that are being produced. One is T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, and both of them are responsible for producing the antibodies so that our immune system works properly. So this is what is the function of spleen. This you will be doing as a whole chapter in class 12. And one more thing, now you just imagine that if spleen gives us those cells which are working for our immune system, so removal of spleen will be of great danger, because then our immune system becomes weak, right? So removal, old and damaged red blood cells are taken care of in the spleen. Okay, if red blood cells, those who have died, or those who are old, or those who are damaged, they are taken care in the spleen. And it also acts as a reservoir of blood in times of shock or hemorrhage. Suppose there is any accident or a shock, and a sudden rush of blood is required, then these RBCs, which are actually stored here, or reservoir, they are sent to just go and do the work whatever has been asked by the body. So in the time of emergency, this is used. So it's a kind of reservoir. Then it preserves iron during filtration, important for synthesizing hemoglobin. So these are the special functions of the organ spleen in our body, and it is a very important organ. Okay, so this was all about RBCs or erythrocytes.